Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is where you are. I just want to talk a little bit about this personal project, this series I've been working on called Craft. It's been this personal project I've had in the works for years, and I make them, I post about them, but I don't really talk too much about the what and the why. So I wanted to come on here and just give you a little bit of context to what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So I'm gonna go grab my coffee and then we're gonna get started. Okay, got it. Craft is a mini series where I explore the how and why craftspeople make their crafts, and I wanted to get into more of the personal reasons and the details of why they've chosen this and what draws them to their craft and what excites them. I want the series to be a little bit more poetic than informational. I think as an artist and talking to artists, I want to give them a space to nerd out and to give that really interesting why they are doing this. I did the first one without any intention of it being a series, and just kind of through the process, this is where I've ended up, and I'm very excited about it, and it's honestly one of the most fulfilling projects I've ever started. Between the first episode and the second episode, I think there was about a 3-year gap. I was struggling with some mental health stuff, and life just kind of got in the way. And I had the second subject lined up for that entire time. I knew who it was going to be. I just never got around to making it. For better or for worse, I don't know, but I think the timing all worked out. So there was this 3-year gap between when I made the first one and the second one. And I didn't forget about it, but I wasn't excited about it. It wasn't a priority. And last year I went to Portugal to work on a client project. I got to visit these spaces of these makers, ceramics and mugs and cork manufacturers. And it was so captivating and interesting. And it reignited that flame in me, and it reignited this idea for this series, and I really wanted to start it again, and I wasn't really in Nashville much at the time, so I couldn't just do it, but it kind of just put that voice back in my head to do it, and I started considering it more. I started writing down ideas again. I started working on it just kind of on the back end, and fast forward to basically a whole year later, I finally get around to getting some people together and making the second episode. And it was interesting doing it, years after I made the first one. I kind of didn't know what I wanted it to be. I didn't have the same attachment or vision as I did a few years ago. And, with the second one, I feel like I was starting over again, and I don't think that's a bad thing. And I don't think there's any expectation to do any of them in any certain cadence or frequency. But I had to figure out again why I was doing this. And going into the second one, I didn't want to put too much pressure on what it was going to be. I just wanted to make it, and I wanted to learn some lessons along the way. So that's what I did. I just made it, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. But there were things in that second one that had to change for the third one, and I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't just done it. So I feel very grateful to have done that. But it feels really great to have reignited that passion for this project when I was in Portugal on a client project, and now I can see a bigger picture and a bigger vision for this, right? It doesn't have to just live in Tennessee. It can be people all over the states and all over the country. So I feel very fired up. I feel really excited about it. I feel very proud and confident in this series. I'm still kind of designing and deciding on, certain elements that I think need to exist throughout it, but I'm trying not to attach myself to any one specific thing, whether that is lighting it this way, using this kind of camera, or having these same exact people in the roles each time. I want to switch it up. Don't want it all to feel the same. I want it to feel living and breathing, and I want an opportunity to work with and collaborate with different artists throughout every step of the process. So it's kind of carrying me through this next chapter of my creative career, because just over the last year I've become so interested in makers and the stories of how things are made and the materials. Like if I see a ceramic or something that I like, I a lot of the times I'll take it and try to see where it was made. And sometimes things are mass produced, and sometimes they're made by a local ceramicist. And that's kind of the story of one of the next subjects. I was at a coffee shop, and the mugs were so interesting and so gorgeous, and I was just like, what is this? This is so unique. This is a whole experience to pick this mug up. And I looked under it, and I asked the people who run the cafe about it, and we had a conversation, and it was a really wonderful conversation, and I got to nerd out over something that I am really fascinated by. And I got the name of the maker, and through other mutual friends, I was able to connect with her, and she's going to be in this series, hopefully in the next couple months. And the synchronicities kind of keep compounding, and it's really beautiful. And I think it's putting me in so many wonderful spaces that I would have not otherwise been in. And yeah, I'm just so excited. I don't know where this is going to take me, and I don't really have a set number of these I want to make. I want it to be natural. I want it to be organic, and I want it to be genuine. I don't want to feel like, okay, like I have to make one, I got to get another one done. I want to find a maker that I'm interested in and something that I'm passionate about, and I want to be able to add it to the series. And I'm really dedicated to this right now. And I just filmed the third one about 2 days ago, and I have the next 2 subjects lined up, and I'm hoping to do those both in the next month. So it's going to take a while to edit and kind of roll them out, but I think it's going to keep just snowballing and compounding. And the more I do, the more people are going to see it. Maybe I just get introduced to other craftspeople along the way. And I have a few people out of state that I want to figure out a way to fund making those. And I'm not married to any one kind of outcome of this. It's something I think needs to exist, and it's something that I'm excited to make. So I'm going to make it, and I'm not going to attach expectations to the outcome, and I'm just going to be excited, and I'm going to make it. And a lot of things are probably going to happen throughout it, and I'll probably learn more lessons, and some may not end up how I want it to, but that's okay. It's better than not doing it at all. So craft is this exploration of something I'm just genuinely curious about. I am choosing craftspeople who I want to know more. It's kind of a selfish endeavor. I get to learn about something I'm curious about, and I get to make a piece for my portfolio. It seems like a win-win, and yeah, I'm just really excited about it, and I think it's going to be great.